BIONICLE, Journey's End. Written by Greg Farshtey. Reading by Shadowcaber. Chapter 2. "Help me," the Agori croaked. "Hang on," said Motunui. He took a few steps backwards, broke into a run, and leaped toward Tarduk. Catching hold of the chain, his momentum carried it and the Agori away from the lava. When they were almost at the far wall, Motunui slashed through the links with his sword. The chain snapped, and he and Tarduk fell to the stone floor. I can't believe you did that," gasped Tarduk. "I thought I was cooked." "What is this place?" asked Motunui, getting to his feet and helping Tarduk do the same. "I don't think you'd believe me if I told you," the Agori replied. "But you can believe this. We've got to get out of here. Now." "You go," said Motunui. "I came here for answers, and I'm going to get them." A violent tremor shook the chamber. Gouts of lava shot up from the pool, raining down on the stone floor and burning through the rock. "The only answer you'll get here is what happens after death," said Tarduk, already running for the door. "Come on." Motunui stood rooted to the floor for a moment. He had gone through so much to reach this place, and now he was supposed to flee from it? But Tarduk was right. Something very bad was happening here. The stone all around was melting, but not from the heat. No, the structure was shifting, turning into something else as he watched. If he didn't move, and quickly, he would be trapped here. So he ran. Tarduk was already halfway up the stairs. When he reached the top, he dashed out the door and up into the rocks. Motunui followed not long after. Both turned to see the entire tower melting like a block of ice in the sun. "Incredible," said Tarduk. Motunui said nothing. His attention was riveted on the scene before him. Something was rising out of the ground beneath the tower, and the tower itself was sliding away, as if to make room for it. The first thing he saw was the molten lava, followed quickly by what looked like an entire mountain pushing its way up from beneath the earth. It was an awe-inspiring sight. An actual volcano, given birth in the matter of moments. "Incredible isn't the word," muttered Motunui. "It's impossible." Tarduk pointed up at the river of lava flowing slowly from the crater. "Looks pretty possible to me. But what could cause it?" Motunui gestured at the maze. "The same that caused all this. The great beings. That's no natural volcano." "How do you know?" Motunui smiled. "Let's just say I know something about volcanoes that aren't really volcanoes, and leave it at that. Stay here. I'm going in." "Into that?" Tarduk said, shocked. "You'll be killed." "I don't think so," Motunui said, already walking toward the eruption. "I think I was meant to go in there. Or someone was." Ignoring the heat and the ominous rumbles coming from inside the mountain, Motunui began to climb the slope. He hacked at the rock with his sword, trying to make an entrance. To his surprise, the rock crumbled easily, to reveal a smooth, polished metal underneath. He struck at the gleaming metal, but his sword bounced off without leaving so much as a scratch. Even more determined now, Motunui continued to chip away at the rock. After several minutes, he had uncovered what appeared to be a hatch. Grasping the handle and pulling with all his strength, he was able to force it open just wide enough for him to slip inside. Warning Tarduk again to stay put, Motunui went into the volcano. Motunui knew what the inside of a real volcano looked like. He had seen his share on hundreds of worlds, some of which made Barra Magna seem like a little corner of paradise. They looked nothing like what he was seeing now. The inside of the mountain was a mass of pipes, conduits, and wires, all vibrating from a low hum that filled the entire structure. It was so crowded that it took an effort for him to even move ahead. The pipes were hot, no doubt from pumping the lava toward the top of the edifice, where it could be disposed of. Efficient and deceptive, he thought. Two hallmarks of the great being's work. Forcing his way through a nest of cables, he found himself in a small, open area. The first thing he noticed were plans on the wall for a giant robot, the same plans he had seen earlier in a cavern near the village of Tejun. Matanui smiled. He had been right. There were answers to be found here, for there was a connection between here and the construction of his original body. Next to the plans was a blank screen. Matanui reached out and brushed his fingertips against it, and it flared to life. A series of images flashed by at mind-numbing speed. Schematics, calculations, notes, details of design and construction. It all went so quickly, it was impossible to consciously focus on any one thing. Yet Matanui could feel the knowledge flowing into his mind just the same. It was overwhelming and painful, but he endured. This is what he had come here for. This was his origin story. He saw it all now. The early experiment that had failed, the one that resulted in robot pieces scattered all over the Barra Magna desert, the discovery of protodermis, an artificial substance that could exist in multiple forms, the key to the creation of his original body, and the nanotech that dwelled within it. And more, he saw why he had been created, and for what purpose. A conflict raged, a core war over a substance Matanui recognized as energized protodermis. Even the great beings were not sure of its properties, but the silvery liquid transformed or destroyed whatever it touched. It was flowing up from inside the planet, and the various tribes all wanted to claim it. But tapping the power of the volatile substance would result, the great beings discovered, in the destruction of the world. When their efforts to end the war failed, they built a giant robot they called Matanui. His purpose? Leave the planet before it shattered and travel the universe, gaining the knowledge to prevent such a terrible war from happening again. After 100,000 years, the pieces of Spherus Magna would be stable enough to be brought together once more. And that was why Matanui truly existed. His mission was to undo the errors of his creators, and to heal the world. That's it! That's what I'm supposed to do, he exulted. My destiny is to recreate Spherus Magna as it was before the shattering, to make the three pieces of the planet one again. Now it all became clear to him. He had been on his way back from the exploration of the universe, heading for Barra Magna, when he was attacked from within by the evil Makuta. Rendered unconscious, he crashed into the ocean of Aqua Magna. The impact had temporarily damaged the memory core of the robot, causing him to forget his mission. Even when he was reawakened by a band of heroes called Toa, he had been without purpose. Before he could initiate self-repair and retrieve the knowledge he needed, Makuta had seized control of the robot, and exiled Matanui's consciousness into space. By chance or design, he had ended up on Barra Magna, his original destination. He was armed with the knowledge he needed at last, but staggered by its implications as well. To achieve his mission, he needed his original body, or something close to it. More, the task of reconstructing the planet required the power of not one, but 2 robots. There was supposed to be a second one, he realized. The great beings were supposed to build another Matanui, but they never did. Maybe the planet's end came too fast, or maybe they were killed, and I can't do my mission alone. I can't do what I was created to do. Matanui sank to the floor. For the first time in his existence, he felt truly defeated. The hope he had held on to, even through his exile, was extinguished. Even if he got his old body back, he couldn't... What's the matter? He turned at the sound. It was Tarduk, who had followed him in despite Matanui's orders. Being smaller and more agile, the Agori had had no trouble navigating through the jungle of iron and wires. Seeing no reason to keep it secret, Matanui laid out what he had learned. Tarduk listened intently. When the tale was done, the Agori walked over and pointed up to the plans. I don't know what you can do about your old, body, he said. But from what you said, you already have a second one. It's lying in the Barra Magna desert, isn't it? Matanui nodded. Yes, but it's been dead for well over 100,000 years. It has no power, and even when it was active, It was unstable. Tardak frowned. Not sure about stability, but as for power, what does this remind you of? Motunui looked around. Of course. He had been so caught up in learning about his past, and then the overwhelming odds against achieving his mission, that he never realized. The volcano was a power plant. The plans, he said, rising. That's what was created here. The power source for my body. And if they plan to build a second robot, then there might be a second power source, finished Tardak. It's worth searching for, right? End of chapter 2.